They said a slave could never be a king, but Jaja rose from the chains of captivity to build a kingdom so powerful that the British Empire feared his name. His journey began not in the delta, but deep inland, in an Igbo village far from the sea. Before he became known as Jubo Jaboga or Jaja of Opobo, the boy was born around 1821 in Umuruha, Amigbo, in what is now Imo State, southeastern Nigeria. Colonial records such as the British Consular Reports, FO 84 series, 1860s, describe him as an Igbo boy sold into slavery and later adopted into Bonny. But according to Bonny and Opobo oral historians, Jubo Jaboga was not his birth name. His original name before enslavement was Mbeneso Akwaro Zarumba, a name still remembered among the Igbo of Amigbo. As a child, Mbeneso was captured, possibly during inter-village conflict, and sold to coastal traders. He was carried down the Imo River, passing through Akwit and Andoni territories before arriving at Bonny, one of the most powerful city-states in the Niger Delta. In Bonny, the young boy was bought by a wealthy trader, Chief Iganapuguma Allison, who later placed him under the Anna Pepple House, one of Bonny's leading trading houses. It was here that he was renamed Jubo Jaboga, later shortened by British traders to Jaja. Bonny society, like other Ijaw systems, allowed enslaved people to rise through loyalty, intelligence, and trade skill. Over time, Jaja was freed and fully integrated into a Bonny culture. He learned the Ijaw language, customs, and political system, which revolved around houses, semi-independent trading corporations led by chiefs. By Bonny standards, once Jaja became a headman and later a chief in the Anna Pepple House, he was no longer seen as a foreigner. He was Ijaw by acculturation and political status, even though his ancestry was Igbo. By the 1860s, Consul L. H. Calvert's dispatches already described him as a leading merchant of Bonny and a man of commanding intelligence. Bonny's political system was dominated by two powerful factions: the Anna Pepple House, to which Jaja belonged; the Manila Pepple House, the rival faction. Competition for trade and leadership often led to open conflict. When King Dapa Pepple died, disputes over succession and trade rights intensified. Jaja's influence and wealth grew rapidly, and this caused resentment among rival chiefs of the Manila Pepple faction. In 1869, civil war broke out between the two factions. British consular reports described it as a trade quarrel, but Bonny oral traditions explain that it was a struggle for leadership and survival. During the fighting, Jaja's life was threatened, and loyal chiefs, mostly from the Anna Pepple group, chose to follow him rather than submit to his enemies. According to a Bonny oral history, they saved his life and carried his name to safety. Jaja and his followers sailed eastwards through the creeks until they reached the Andoni territory, near the Imo River. The Andoni people, who were historically under Bonny's sphere of influence and bound by a long-standing treaty, granted Jaja and his followers land to settle, in recognition of their allegiance to Bonny and respect for Jaja's authority. Colonial records confirm that by 1870, Jaja had established a new trading settlement called Opobo, named in honor of King Opobo Kingdom, a revered former ruler of Bonny. He declared himself Amanyanabo, King of Opobo, reorganizing the new city-state along the same structure as Bonny, with trading houses, war canoe captains, and a council of chiefs. Within a few years, Opobo became a major palm oil export center, controlling much of the Imo River trade. Jaja prohibited European traders from buying oil directly from the inland markets. All trade had to pass through his customs. By 1873, Opobo was exporting over 30,000 tons of palm oil annually, rivaling Bonny's economy. Consular reports from the 1870s often complained that King Jaja monopolized the trade of the hinterland and imposed tolls on merchants. But to his people, Jaja was not a monopolist. He was a protector, ensuring that foreign traders did not exploit local producers. He built alliances with Kwa Ibo, Akwit, and other inland communities, securing peace and stable trade routes. Opobo grew into a prosperous and orderly state, admired even by European observers. Jaja's control over the Delta trade threatened British free trade ambitions. After the Berlin Conference, 1884 to 85, when European powers divided Africa into colonial zones, British officials in West Africa began asserting stronger authority. In 1887, Consul Harry Johnston invited Jaja aboard a British gunboat under the pretext of diplomacy. Once on board, Jaja was arrested and accused of obstructing commerce. He was taken to Accra, Gold Coast, for trial, found guilty, and later exiled to St. Vincent in the Caribbean. Public protest followed, even in Britain. When the Colonial Office finally approved his return in 1891, Jaja fell ill and died at sea, reportedly poisoned before reaching his homeland. Before Nigeria was created, Jaja's story was already legend. He had proven that an African could master European trade, diplomacy, and governance on his own terms. Born Igbo, raised Ijaw, he embodied the cultural fluidity of the Niger Delta, where identity was earned by allegiance and leadership, not birth. British officials later admitted in confidential reports that Jaja was a man of great prudence and rare ability, though dangerous to our commercial aims. To the people of Bonny and Opobo, he remains a symbol of pride, the enslaved boy who became a king and defied an empire.